Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, it's me, True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM SR Live, baby. Today's date, December 4th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Yesterday, we lay my father down to rest, Reverend Waverly Weaver Jr. I want to thank all the people who have shown me love for all the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the prayers. I feel the spirit, and it's given me strength. Brother James, welcome to the show. Peace and power. With this strength, I am going to redouble my efforts. I want to thank the Most High for allowing me, yes, another time to get on the hour of power and spread forth the truth. So let's jump into it. Bam! Latest TPIM poll has revealed a rather shocking results. Hold on, let me try to. And that should be a little bit better for everybody to see. Kim, welcome to the show. Peace and power. Does racism still exist in the world? Legendary, rather. Welcome to the show. Peace and power. Yes, strongly agrees. 99%. And then the other 1% is yes, somewhat agrees. This is the first poll in the history of our poll making or our polling here. Well, we have such an overwhelming response. Brother Marty, peace and power. Welcome to the show. Thank the Most High for you being here. You have to understand, y'all. There's going to be a lot more tears coming. There's going to be a lot more crying, mashing the teeth. Because reality is sitting right in front of your face. 99% of y'all believe racism still exists. But if you look at mainstream media, you look at the big houses of entertainment, they're going to try to sell you a bill of goods that is not there. It's just in your mind, young brother. It's just in your mind, young sister. But when we can throw in some anonymity, the reality comes out. This is what this show's about. It's about human victory. It's about justice for all. It's about doing away with the hate and the evilness and the exploitation that got us to this point, to where we are at right now. Chinese children. A new report came out. Chinese children are the smartest children in the world. So you know what? You better brush up on your Chinese, my friend. Because we do everything in this nation just to indoctrinate a person to be able to wave a flag versus critically think. Thank you, Spirit. We are not us. We do not receive justice. Therefore, grab your popcorn, boys and girls. Get a nice, cool drink. because some things are coming down the pike that you have no control over, but it will absolutely affect you. Today's show, for all intents and purposes, will not be monetized because we're going to go some places. I already know there's going to be music played, blah, blah, blah. Brother King, Kevin King, welcome to the show. Thank you, brother, for getting up and getting in here. History. This was sent to me by a confidential informant from Australia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been checking out these folks. But we're going to break this down. I want to go in here. We're going to have to, we're going to have to hit a commercial, y'all. All right, so, well, oh, no commercial, huh? Hold on.
Stupid masses using psychoanalysis is a real criminals and the government admits have declared a disgusting class war on the welfare state. But the people of Europe have seen the rank scams and imposters and are in the streets saying fuck you, Batman and robbers.
Follow Zizek for that intricate Marxist syllabus. We now cross over dialectically in search of a synthesis to the last judge, a person with influence, present.
IMF, baby. You guys better research IMF. Hit it.
In charge of the IMF, Madame Christine Lagarde.
Bonjour, les esclaves, ça va?
Oui, très bon.
I love the sex get slaves in this competition. Ooh la la, so much pain and moaning, it's quite eternal. But I think we need to have a little history lesson. In Europe, you call it austerity, but we have another slogan for the IMF is known as structural adjustment programs, and we just love to impose them in third world homelands. Check how it goes. We lend quotations money to assist their development, but for some petty little conditions have to be met. Step 1, privatization, sell all public assets. Next, market liberalization to attract foreign capital. Devaluing our currency and safety standards in their borders and cutting subsidies for basic needs like fuel, food, and water. And once the masses starving and down on their knees, step 3, watch the riots break out in the streets.
Sounds familiar.
Don't it sound familiar? Aboriginal peoples of the Americas? Doesn't it sound familiar? Aboriginal peoples of Kemet and Australia and Asia. You see, y'all, this is all a pyramid scheme of control. This is what this is about. Brother Ken, welcome to the show. Peace and power, brother. And to the keys. SAP, S-A-P, Structural Adjustment Programs, is coming to a nation near you. This is no joke. This is no game. Well, you're like, well, True, how can you be like this? Everything's going good. More people are wage slaving than ever. U.S. debt clock. Your wage slavery is not going to get you out of this one. You look at that right there, brothers and sisters, and you understand it well. Privatization is coming. Denial of basic needs, energy, fuel, some cases food and water, will be denied. 500 million will be reached. That's for all my folks down in Georgia with the guiding stone. The poor uninitiated to all this madness are going to be in utter confusion. And the way it should be, because this is the system doing exactly what the system was designed to do, y'all. It wasn't designed to free you, liberate you. That's why the old ones were so resistant to government. But because men and women have become so debased and so wicked on an individual level, government seems the only alternative to straight up anarchy, to straight up epidemics of biblical proportions as far as famine and disease, because unorganization begots what? Disaster every time. You're not prepared. You're not prepared for the flood. You're not prepared for the storm. You're not prepared for the earthquake. You're not prepared for the volcano. You get consumed by the activities of the disaster. There's an economic tsunami coming our way. Oh, we're just waiting in the ocean. Your little lifesaver is not going to save you. You're going to be smashed upon the rocks. You're going to be drowned, devoured by the beast of the sea. You know, right now, we're quite literally seeing the beginning of the unraveling of the NATO pact. That's why I keep warning you guys. It's going to be Germany, China, Russia, perhaps even India and South Africa and Brazil against the United States divided, a divided UK. Japan is going to be a sleeper cell. It's going to look like they're with us halfway through turn, row with China. Because don't forget, Japan used to be a colony of China. Oops, what? What? You better do some research, folks. You better start looking at this thing for what it truly is. Some old ancient scores will be settled. And yet again, your blood will be spilt. We have come full circle, y'all. A lot of people don't want to internalize this for obvious reasons. But listen to this last verse.
What? You don't like that particular game? Oh, désolé. I didn't hear you ever object to complaint. When we did it to others and you had profits to make.
But why subject your own citizens to these strictures and pain?
Because, silly peasant, peon, you're a peon. You're a peon. That is so crazy. You know, when we start learning about codes and breaking down these words, thank you, Jordan Maxwell. I just want to go on the record and thank brother Jordan Maxwell for giving us the cipher key in many ways to break down these words that we use commonly. And these words are used to bind us, used to restrain us psychologically so that we will not utilize our full potential. Because if you believe, Bane, welcome to the show. If you believe you're powerless at your core, your behaviors will correspond with that. But if you believe that you're powerful, whether your behaviors get you in trouble, you believe it to the bitter end. Your behavior will reflect that. And a lot of brothers and sisters out there understand that they don't have power. They can't pick up the phone and call the stock market. You know what? I want to make these moves. Most of them can't even pick up the phone because they might not even have service. We have to get into the mode of war. Because there definitely is a war being waged against you, my friend. And you know who I'm talking to. I'm quite aware the show's being monitored. I'm quite aware. Quite aware. Thank you for the message, by the way. There's been so many messages just lately for me. I'll jump on Facebook for a minute, and then I'll jump off. So many people sending me love, prayers. Totally thankful. This time last week, I was actually doing a show trying to get funds in Sister Dorothy Gaines' pocket so that she could have like a magical Christmas, a special holiday. That same very day, my father passed away. And the rest of the week was an emotional roller coaster. But I feel the power. I understand the mission. And thank God I've evolved past the holidays and all this, because I'm going to redouble these efforts. I know I took too much time off. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and there's brothers and sisters out there for whatever reasons. Maybe they can't read all the reports, but they understand what I'm trying to do, and it's helping them, which helps all of us. This thank you to the listeners and viewers who bear with me through this turbulent time. Some of you have already experienced this. But for me, this is quite literally the first time in my conscious history I have not a mother nor a father. I'm thankful for their raising. I'm thankful for their love and sharing of resources. And now it's time for me to give back to society. I'm quite literally 50% my mom, 50% my dad, 100% myself. And that's enough. All right, let's continue. Oh my gosh. Well, the Game of Thrones stuff just quit it. These little...
Go back to where you're from. Racism surrounds us.
I live in Canada. I don't live in a terrorist country. Why is there so many turbans?
Easy to spot when it's overt like this and spread on YouTube.
All you foreigners come over and you speak your goddamn Chinese.
But it's also subtle.
The reason why they speak their goddamn Chinese, homeboy, is because Chinese kids are the smartest in the world right now. Hold on. New report shows Chinese children are the smartest in the world. Because these Chinese, they understand humiliation. And they ain't taking no shorts. Chinese people ain't taking no shorts, y'all. Right here. One day ago. Hold on, let me try to tighten in that. There we go. Chinese school children are now the smartest in the world. Bloomberg. Okay. Let's go back. Just remember this, y'all. Hold on. I don't think this is the one I want. Oh, yeah, this is the one I want. I want you guys to listen to what this dude's going to say. Hold on. Oh, it blew me away, man. He was like, man, no, let's not rush to judgment. Okay, hold on.
In our daily lives, different races can be treated differently. Say, look.
They can't be. The poll shows 99% of people know that racism still exists. So let's just dispense with could be, would be, maybe, perhaps, and say they are. Let's do it.
For apartments or followed while shopping, suspected of stealing. In your life, have you ever been followed in the store?
Never in my whole life.
How about you?
I've been followed a few times.
Yeah?
Stores, yeah.
And you?
Oh, heck yeah. Of course. Let's take a selfie.
All right. Now, those are this report follows these three dudes, but I want you guys to listen to what the white dude said. Now, this is after they went out and they show that racism exists. Now, listen to his little piecemeal response. Just listen to Rory.
Where they were always getting bullied, and it was not you didn't have to do this to fit in, but it certainly made you feel like one of the cool kids to join.
Look at his face, man. Wish I had better quality. This dude straight smiling, happy and shit. And he did a little test and it showed that he has a natural liking of, European Americans versus African Americans. And this is a Canadian show, y'all. But hold on, let's continue.
Join in and give these guys a hard time. And I remember it. I regret it.
Hold on.
You want Canadian people to give money to terrorists?
We're back on the road, heading west to Victoria. $10 more a month. Not much, but one thing we've learned.
Yeah, on this report, let me post this link. Because I don't want YouTube to hit me with their craziness, but here's the link to the video I'm featuring, and we're breaking down commentary. Basically, what it shows that when this Native American, or not Native Canadian, and then an African Canadian, and then a European Canadian went out looking for apartments, they charged Aboriginal Canadian and African Canadian more money than they did. It was like $30, $10, and then $0. And that's what's so crazy. What job? 2 jobs. Welcome to the show. Peace and power.
From this cross-country experiment, even small gestures
Maggie, nice to meet you.
can have big meaning. These experiences are making Rory re-examine his own past.
It shames me to admit, but I can remember in high school a couple Native guys where they were always getting bullied, and it was not you didn't have to do this to fit in, but it certainly made you feel like one of the cool kids to.
What he's just describing is white supremacy. You didn't have to kick a Negro in the butt, but it just made you feel good to fit into the. That's how it works. On a personal level, his mates, his buds, his friends, his confidants on this program are these. Hold on, let's go here. Hold on. Now you know that. Now that you know that old boy here bullied minorities when he was a kid, listen to this.
Of course. Let's take a selfie.
We've asked 3 friends to help us with an experiment. Leland DeLorme, Rory McCusker, and Mark Sims.
Like 3 days after Christmas, I was called a nigger.
Really?
Yeah, just walking out a Safeway.
It isn't always that obvious.
The fuck it ain't, bud. Once again, this dude and this dude live in 2 different worlds. It quite literally is that obvious. Man, I wish I can get to that part where he's like, man, we can't, we got to take time here. Hold on. I'm going to find it because I want to jump to that part right now. I did watch this. Hold on.
As we cross Canada, we're confronting some big issues, sometimes uncomfortable.
Oh, God. The ads just kill me, YouTube. The ads just kill me.
Can your name and your race hurt your search for a job? That question is bringing us to the University of Toronto. We're meeting.
Job and a face covering, the niqab, both.
It's tough to argue that it isn't because I'm white that I've been treated this way. And it makes me feel awkward with.
Why would you? Hold on. This is the part. This is it, Riyadh. Hold on 1 second. Let's break this part down. This is the most critical part to it.
Look at how she greets Rory.
My name's Rory. Nice to meet you.
Asks his name, shakes his hand. A subtle difference. It could be that Rory seems more outgoing.
The bullshit. It's not about Rory being outgoing. It's about the gag. It's about the game, yeah. You better understand this.
I'm a pretty friendly guy. I'm sure that's helping me out when I go into these situations.
All 3 end up getting.
Yeah, I wonder why he's such a friendly job. He didn't have to suffer these arbitrarily attacked on just your heritage or just your DNA, your skin color, I guess that would make you a little friendly chap, now wouldn't it?
The same offer, but moments like this don't sit well with him.
You know, it's tough to argue that it isn't because I'm white that I've been treated this way, and it makes me feel awkward with the other guys as well. It does make me feel almost like I should apologize.
But Rory says standing up and confronting discrimination is not easy.
You almost have to pick.
Hold on, listen to what he's about ready to say. This is what this fool's about ready to say.
Your battles a little bit, because you can't just be this social justice warrior that goes around correcting people at every turn. So
Notice he ain't smiling now. He don't want that shit to end. He don't want the gravy train, what we commonly refer to on the show as white supremacy, to end. Look at his face. It says it all. Look at those eyes. He's like, chick, you know what time it is. You better get on code here. That's why 99% of y'all intuitively know this thing's going on. Keep playing the game. I love the way we broke this video down in such a way he already knows what time it is. We're going to do this little piecemeal bullshit. Let's play this.
Sometimes you do have to tolerate that behavior a little bit.
Sometimes you have to listen to this cat. I'm going to play this entirely. Listen to it. Knowing that he picked on native boys or helped bully them with the rest of the crowd when he was a kid. Listen to him. Look at his face the best you can on this video. Analyze it for yourself. Then research it yourself.
Almost like I should apologize.
But Rory says standing up and confronting discrimination is not easy.
You almost have to pick your battles a little bit, because you can't just be this social justice warrior that goes around correcting people at every turn. So sometimes you do have to tolerate that behavior a little bit.
It's easy to tolerate the behavior when you're getting the benefits, huh, brothers and sisters? It's easy to tolerate the situation when you go to get some rent and they give you a $30 discount off top, tell you can move in right away, but your next guy, the next man, the next woman, they got to wait, plus they got to pay an extra $30 a month. It's easy to tolerate the shit like that. I mean, I say tolerate shit. Tolerate none of it. It's intolerable. It's intolerable. Let's continue real quick.
One woman who refuses to tolerate it is Bev Ann Fox. She was shopping with her grandson at Walmart.
When we were leaving the store, the alarm went off.
She says she was accused of shoplifting and physically accosted.
He grabbed me here, pulled me back, pushed me out again, grabbed me again, and held me, like just by my coat, like just so like rough.
Because he had no respect for you, ma'am. You're a woman. In my eyes, you don't treat women like that. He wouldn't have grabbed old girl here with the suit jacket on like that. But because she looks obviously different. And this is the whole kick, man. This goes back to all you guys in multi-level marketing, all you folks into sales, all you folks into generating money. If you do not have a product or a service that hits the majority of folks, you can play all the games you want, but you ain't gonna get paid. And the war of attrition is gonna grind your little monkey ass down. The only thing you will have achieved is you expose yourself for being an enemy to the natural order of things as they are today, and you will be dealt with accordingly. That's why I keep on saying, don't blow your cover, brother or sister. Keep it. It's going to be quite obvious when it's time for you to come out the cocoon and be the beautiful butterfly that you are. But until then, keep on pretending, or at least displaying, that you're just a caterpillar. You're just a little larvae over here. Don't worry about me. I'm not doing nothing. But once you bust out that cocoon and the world sees your beauty and they see the glory that's inside of you, you will shine. And that's why I'm dedicating myself to facilitating the thoughts and the motivation for the warriors, the politicians, the diplomats, in the common man and woman to internalize this and manifest it for all of humanity. Let's continue.
That experience shook her, but Bevan says she was more worried about how it affected her grandson.
It's upsetting. So I said, "Are you okay?" And he said,
hell no, Granny, you're a fucking thief. I ain't okay with that shit. Let's listen to Mr. Tolerate some more.
Now let's see what happens when Rory, Leland, and Mark get wired up and go into stores in Regina. Each tester is instructed to browse for 15 to 20 minutes. At the first two stores, no difference. Now we're putting shopper's drug mark to the test. Mark doesn't notice any eyes on him while shopping. Neither do we. After 10 minutes, Rory is approached by an employee.
Just browsing the men's fragrances. I definitely did get those eyes from that woman at the cosmetics counter, and she did call another person over right after I had left.
It's not that uncommon, though, for them to ask a guy in the makeup section if they need some help,
Totally,
though, right?
Especially if I'm loitering around the same shelf for about 2 minutes.
Now watch what happens when Leland walks into the store. Within 1 minute, this is the first but not the last time this employee checks in on Leland. A minute later, there she is again.
Now put this in thought, y'all. Let's look at the main factors that are in play. One, there's the economic thing. If you know that a group of people or a person is poor, of course you're going to watch them in the store because the potential to steal is higher because the need is more drastic. Now, the way that people get over, oh, well, black people or this people or that people steal more because they're hurting economically more. They're less apt, they're paying more for their rent. So if you pay more for your rent, you have less money to shop with. You pay more for every little item that you have to use. You have less money to casually shop with. They know this, the game. This is what it's all about, the war of attrition. We're all caught up in the economic web, y'all. And the spiders are real. Kim, racism still exists because it never fucking stopped. I added the fucking. Let's continue.
Leland stops to examine the baby food in aisle 5. That's when he hears an announcement on the store intercom. Seconds later, the same woman appears. In under a minute, she walks by the aisle 3 times. And her coworker twice. A minute later, she's back. Leland goes into another aisle, and seconds later, spotted again. You can see both employees hovering near the end of the aisle. Scanning and watching. And when Leland leaves, so do they. Within 15 minutes, Leland encounters this man 7 times, and this woman 8 times. Just coincidence? Leland doesn't think so. He's been through this before.
It's definitely because I'm brown.
Are you surprised you experienced that in Regina?
No. Regina is a very racist city, I'm sorry to say.
Did you hear that? This dude has to say Virginia or Regina is a racist city. I am sorry. Why should he be sorry? For their attitudes. You see the gameplay? He's already internalized. He's sorry for being brown, as he says it. That's that sickness. That's that mental corruption Brother Dick Gregory is talking about. Teaching your kids you got to be twice as good. The kid ain't hearing that. that the racism and bullshit's out, the kids hearing that they wrong, and it manifests into them saying they sorry for this city being racist. Listen to it again. Listen to it again.
Doesn't think so. He's been through this before.
It's definitely because I'm brown.
Are you surprised you experienced that in Regina?
No. Regina is a very racist city, I'm sorry to say. I am not shocked at all, but it still pisses me off.
What's pissing you off is because you realize something's wrong and you don't know how to articulate it, young man. You should say, I'm proud to say that these people are hateful, angry scumbags, and they're headed for genetic annihilation due to their inbred nature to facilitate a cosmetic appearance that they attribute to superiority and purity. That's what he should have said. I'm proud to say that these people are wrong. They're evil as fuck. If you want to continue to do business, see, that puts everything out in the light. If you want to continue doing business with these folks, it lets me know that you're cool with these people and their attitudes. That's what they talk about the whole economic game for. Half Q, welcome to the show. Peace and power. Society is in trouble. People don't think for themselves anymore. Nope, they don't think for themselves anymore, but they sure as fuck do, more or less. We allow TV, we allow marketing agencies, we allow elders in our family to basically upload behavior patterns that we should emulate. And it goes back to what we have to tolerate this behavior, you see. Of course he's going to say, do you think this dude is going to say, yeah, we still need to tolerate this racist situation? Or the brother, yeah, racism totally tolerable. It's totally acceptable. Oh my gosh, dear children.
We tell Shoppers Drug Mart about Leland's experience. Shoppers say allegations like these are taken seriously. They're investigating.
Be arrived very shortly.
And the way they overcome the investigation is because a lot of minority people do go in the stores and steal because they are economically suffering because of societal's prejudice and hatred towards them. Do you think it's just by happen chance you go into the hood and you price a candy bar at liquor store, gas station? It's like 25, 30 cents higher on average than outside that area. Why is that? You got the poor people. You would think where the poor people are at, shit should be cheaper, but it's the reverse. Where the poor people at, shit's the most expensive. I know rich people that get things given to them by manufacturers, Rolls Royces, leather coats, fancy sunglasses, houses in some cases. They're already wealthy, but they're getting all this other materialistic stuff piled upon them. Then I know brothers and sisters who really need it, and they're not going to get it. We have a second-class citizenry legally. It's called felons, convicts. We also have a middle class, such as it is, blue-collar worker, construction worker. And then we have the lower upper class, and we call them CEOs, higher management. And then we have the wealthy, and they're outside of all of that. It's cheap when you're rich. It's really expensive being poor. Exactly. Now, we can go into all the causations of why. Well, you see, True, when the delivery man has to go down there to deliver to these stores, there's more crime involved, so we have to have extra security, which has to inflate prices, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But that justification is mute. When you look at cases like Madoff, Barney Madoff, how he made off with quite literally billions of dollars. The most prolific shoplifter in the world might bust $10,000 a year in all their little shoplifting activities. How many years would it take to do just $1 billion of damage? See, there's always a universal price that has to be paid. Take Jeffrey Epstein. Run around here rich as you don't know what, hobnobbing and bucking and shucking with the rich and powerful, doing those nasty things to those children and girls and his buddies. He didn't get tried and convicted by man's court. He got tried and convicted by the other side's court, and they executed him point blank. Just like the reporter in Malta that kind of opened up the whole can of worms by showing how the queen makes her money and how she is indeed the richest human being on the damn planet, irrespective of what news article you may or may not read. But she jumps in her nice little car and hits that ignition and the motherfucker blows up. Kaboom. You keep thinking this is a game out here. The only way to win the war is to convert the goons into humanity. And then go to the rich man and say, look, you can be a part of us, take your place, help the common, collective cause and purpose, or you're going to get the King of France basically treatment. And that's what everyone's scared of. The most wealthiest man on this planet is fearful at night that the little peons underneath him will one day wake up and unite and take back their time, take back their lives. Because right now, people are willingly giving their time and their lives to corporate entities through labor, through a wage. And when they end up going into the ground, the only thing they're being buried is a broken body from work and stress. Black Friday was a dismal disaster. I haven't really seen the reports on Cyber Monday because I was beside myself Monday. But I will research this and I'll bring you the facts and the statistics. You see, the reason why the Chinese children are getting the one up on math and science and technology is because those who are in power of this world deem it to be so. The United States populace and I guess Western European populations have become decadent and self-absorbed, believing the hype that in some way, shape, or some total of the thing, they are somewhat better because of their economic viability. They're about ready to be shown that they are no more viable as the ones that they look down on and spit upon. Because at the end of the day, genetically speaking, even they are mutts. They are not true bloods of the pure, which is not pure in itself. It's cut with alien DNA, but that's a whole nother story. We as human beings had better wake up and realize the traitor amongst us are those who will tolerate racism. The traitor among us are those who will tolerate misogyny and homophobic, straight up killing them and beating them up. Those are the traitors to their humanity. Those who seek to be liberated, those who seek to live the lives that they see fit, are the saints and martyrs for humanity. And I'm going to go on the record and say All those people espousing hatred and harm in time, brothers and sisters, will be forgotten. It will be as if they never existed because the lie that they represent is not universal. Just us will pass away, and righteousness will replace it. You see, in my time off, and after having various conversations, I went back and I looked at the Star Wars films. And all it was that I saw, looking at them through this new awakening, and all I saw was dysfunction concluding. The father in Return of the Jedi, the old one, Darth Vader, takes his boy to the Emperor. Emperor's about ready to kill Luke with the old lightning zap because I guess neither Luke nor Vader realized, well, I think Vader should have realized that Palpatine or the Emperor was capable of shooting lightning out of his fingertips. But because of that ignorance, or at least lack of story continuity, something absolutely wonderful plays out. The Return of the Jedi represents the ultimate question of, if Hitler chose Jesus before he died, will he go to heaven? Once Luke threw, or once Vader threw the Emperor down the tube, the shitter tube there, he gets zapped up and dies, right? Luke has this little moment with his dad where he takes off the helmet and Darth Vader gets to see him, right, with his own eyes. But then as Luke was cremating Darth Vader, cremation of care, you see Darth Vader appear as a Force ghost, along with Obi-Wan and Yoda. Now, this is in the remake. The original, no, Darth Vader did not have no, no, he did have a Force ghost, but it was the older version of himself, not the younger. That goes to show you what they're trying to tell you. All it takes is a little bit of good in you and someone to recognize. I say bullshit to that. I say that the evil nature of a being is that being expressing their freedom of will. The righteous nature of a being is that being expressing their nature of freedom of will. Because truly, if all these things were not meant to be, they would not be in existence. It's really just that simple. And things that are not meant to be in existence, their behavior pattern will ensure that their continuation comes to an end. So in other words, brothers and sisters, we don't have to trip on no bisexual or no homosexual or no transsexual or no animal sexual or no robot sexual or whatever perversion, persuasion you want to take up other than righteousness. Because those people are doomed. The disease and their lack of birth will wipe them out in their way of thinking. I ask you, brothers and sisters, today who are in love, to put away those pills, poke holes in those condoms, and make new life. Come together, experience the true ecstasy of reality, and make another little human being. Allow for that date to end up being another human being's fate. Because the overwhelming majority of us, and actually 100% of us, came to this realm of existence utilizing the moving spirit because the spirit moves, baby. Without a spirit, a body does not move. Flesh is the egg. Flesh is represented in the human, in the female form. She carries the egg, the body of the man or woman. But the Father carries the spirit, which is represented in the moving sperm that moves through the tube to hit the egg, baby. And when the spirit and the flesh combine, that is you, and that is the origin of life. And I just hit you to a universal reality. Life begins with the mother and father. They are alive. And the baby is a continuation of this sympathy. The sympathy, the sensation of being comes into existence through your mother, through your father. And for all of those of you who may have some sort of barrier or even quarrel with your mother or your father, I sincerely ask you, now you do what you do, because this is your life, brother, and this is your life, sister. But allow the old man to give you just a little wisdom. Make your reconciliation before they pass. Try to rebuild a relationship founded not in fantasy, but in truth and sincerity. And on that foundation, a relationship could be made and maintained. But a lot of us goes out here on some flimsy ass sand with some bamboos and reeds, and we try to put together something that's supposed to weather a tornado or a hurricane. It's not going to work. Brother David, peace and power. Welcome to the show. Now I know that we kind of been jumping all over the place. I looked at the news earlier today. There wasn't a whole lot happening, but it constantly refreshes itself. So we'll see what's happening now. Lawmaker considers impeachment articles. I'm not going to take any shit. Misconduct worse than any president. Republican witness won't come to the rescue. Live. Hate O summit. Leaders trash talk Trump. The video, the drama. Oh my God. Oh, here we go. Now, this story was not up here. Sister Janice, peace and power. I'm glad the Most High got you up and got you in here. Gene editing baby experiment may have created unintended mutations. Mankind messing around with DNA is like a child messing around with an atomic weapon. Even if they don't get it to detonate, they're still contaminating themselves with radiation. Private payroll growth tumbles. Brutal gang or a gang of teens brutally beat officers defending women at mall. And apparently this Irishman movie named Best Film by National Board of Review. This is what I'm talking about. Unrighteousness or even righteousness will not last forever. It has to be maintained. Drag queen economy booming. Drag queen economy boom. This is crazy. And they got this thing looking like a damn clown. I'm afraid to go all the way this time. Navy vet who served on USS Nimitz recalls seeing 2-mile wide UFO over base. Kim Jong-un back on his white horse as North Korea flags big decisions. And Disney 1 billion BET first look at new Star Wars ride. This is just crazy, man. Brother Malachi, welcome to the show. Lesbian couple first to carry babies in both their wombs. Wow. This is, like I said, this is absolute debasement, borderline retardation. I mean, yeah, two women is kind of universal. Two women have semen either old-fashionedly injected into them, or squirted into them through artificial insemination, are going to carry a baby. You can claim to be a man, you can claim to be whatever, but as long as you have ovaries with eggs in them and some sperm gets up in it, baby, you're going to get pregnant. That's this universal law. If you're capable of getting. Now, some women are infertile. My heart goes out to them. Some men are infertile. My heart goes out to them. Some folks are only fertile when we have science, help them out. But the overwhelming vast majority of y'all, all you got to do is put away those birth control pills and go out, and the next guy that hits you up, you just say yes, and next thing you know, you got a little baby in your lap. Whole life has changed. Now, some of you chicks are immune to that. Some of you guys can have as many babies as you want, and you will never change. Well, that's on you. Overwhelming majority of you guys, though, or gals rather in this case, once you become a mother and the body change and the baby comes out, it fundamentally changes you. You start looking at the world radically different. Some of you who were not racist before that baby become super racist once that baby gets here. Because it's all about the children, isn't it? It's all about ensuring that they have a head start to the finish line. You see, that is traitorism. A traitor by default looks after themselves or their group above the collective, above the rest. But see, we have so distorted that concept that's why we get into these situations where traitorisms are being placed upon people that really does not apply. If you're out here fighting for humanity as a whole, you're out here trying to bring people and bring a sense of joy and comfort to miserable lives. You're out here just taking the time to talk to a suicidal individual who wants to harm themselves, or even a homicidal individual who wants to harm others. You're taking the time. You are a brother or sister to liberation, liberating the people from this decadence, liberating the people from this system. Because until we liberate ourselves, you are nothing but a wage slave justifying his or her own slavery. Trying to look at the good in a bad situation and still looking at the bad situation and saying that's what we need to deal with. A lot of people out here straight up suck. A lot of people do. They just straight up suck, meaning they are coarse, abrasive, uncool individuals. You don't want to be around them. But because of the system that we live in, you got to deal with them. They could be your boss. They could be some sort of in-law or whatnot. Maybe a brother or sister, maybe a mother or father. One piece of wisdom I can give you. Whoever chooses to interact with you, you have to base that interaction on this criteria. Does the interaction bring me pain, or does the interaction bring me joy? Do they bring something to uplift me, or do they bring something to tear down self? Remove yourself from anyone who tears you down, jokingly, kiddingly. If it makes you feel it, do not have contact with them. So therefore, you cannot have conflict with them. There's 8+ billion people on this planet. There's many more folks out there. As long as you're halfway right yourself. Now, if everybody you meet treats you shitty, there could be something about you. Uh-oh. It sounds like the studio audience is away. Yes, dear. What do you need? Okay, hold on 1 second. We're gonna take a 5-second break here. All right, I want you out. I want to play this in its entirety. I already know that this particular video probably will not be monetized, but I want you guys to hear this.
Bonjour, guten Tag, yasu, or hello. This edition we're transmitting direct from the Eurozone, where the stage is set for civil unrest as member states compete in the Euro Division contest. On one side we have the Troika, united together to bail out the banks and balance their side of the ledger, deploying a plethora of new austerity measures that have brought poverty and misery to many EU areas. While on the left, we have the general populace, which has responded to austerity with a chorus of protest. To learn more, we get the latest from the Euro Division contest, commencing with kids in the streets with belief in a Molotov cocktail. Will defeat these elite policies. The Poles will not fail, but the Euro will. Unless Berlin approves another bailout. By the way, the bill for your war crimes needs to be paid now.
We stand with peace, ya basta. Podemos, we can be free from this EU disaster. Children are famished, people are homeless. We have to protest. Elites call us down. We call this democratic progress. Austerity here has been just as merciless. Job losses, crop busts, cuts to public services, water double tax, legal mass amounts, while the rich slip their riches in Swiss bank accounts.
Hey, Malakas, you owe Greece money too. In fact, all of the EU must pay a fee whenever they use the words Europe and democracy, or we're gonna sue. It's all Greek copyright, and the bill is overdue. So we've heard the passionate verbal displays of some of the victims which austerity has encircled. Now, to learn what the judges make of that, we turn to the first arbiter, Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel. That was just terrible. A drab batch of glandular gurgles. You lack talent, vitality, originality, purpose. Angela Merkel, angel of death, Bismarck in this bitch. Queen of the Eurozone, holding all the bargaining chips. What is this shit? Especially you Greeks. Abschigen, you want another bailout? First, you need to tighten your belts. Sell your islands, privatize the Acropolis, and for fix's sake, pay your taxes. I've had enough of this. And Spain, that was lame. You make me smirk. Podemos, we can. Yeah, you can. Get back to work. And Ireland, thanks for trying to display your talent. But the chips are down like the potato famine. Listen up, Europeans. The social contract is dead. We said austerity was temporary, but instead it's your new way of life. So just get used to it now. Cheer up. I know how to run Europe into the ground. Dankeschön, Frau Merkel. We now join this next judge on our panel to share standpoints with us. We welcome the Marxist theorist, adroit critic, Slovene philosopher, and academic Slavoj Žižek.
My God, I have to clap hands at this revolutionary potential. It's sensual, erotic, like a lap dance, in a Freudian kind of way. You know Lacan? Because all it reminds me of the film Batman. That one where the hero arrives to save our rights, but he's actually a cabinet, dressed in armor like a fascist or a feudalist. You know, the Dark Knight. And look how they frame the criminals as he starts to fight. As anarchists like Joker, or as activists like Bane, and so on and so on. And so who is this Bruce Wayne? Mythologically, you know, he's like a new sort of Hades, Greek god of the underworld, lord of the wealthy, and his brother Zeus cheated Europa, a creature. Okay, so the hidden message Hollywood is leaving is clear. First, people of Europe, you are all cretins. Second, you must just trust your capitalist ruler, even if they look like masked fascists and striding tyrants, because only they can save you from the rising tide of crime and violence and spiraling cycle of anarchy. But if we look behind this stupid mask-using psychoanalysis, we see the real criminals and the governments and banks who have declared a disgusting class war on the welfare state. But the people of Europe have seen the rank skins and imposters and are in the streets saying fuck you, bankmen and robbers.
Hvala Zizek for that intricate Marxist syllabus. We now cross over dialectically in search of a synthesis to the last judge, a person with influence, presently in charge of the IMF, Madame Christine Lagarde.
Bonjour, les esclaves, ça va?
Oui, très bon.
I love the sex get slaves in this competition. Ooh la la, so much pain and moaning, it's quite eternal. But I think we need to have a little history lesson. In Europe, you call it austerity, but we have another slogan for the IMF is known as structural adjustment programs that we just love to impose them in throughout the homeland. Check how it goes. We lend for nations money to assist their development, but just some pretty little conditions have to be met. Step 1, privatization, sell all public assets. Next, market liberalization to attract foreign capital, devaluing their currency and safety standards in their borders, and cutting subsidies for basic needs like fuel, food, and water. And once the masses starving and down on their knees, step 3, watch the riots break out in the streets.
Sounds familiar.
What? You don't like that particular game? Oh, désolé. I didn't hear you ever object to complain. For me to do to others, and you had profits to make.
But why subject your own citizens to these strictures and pain?
Because, mon chéri, this is a pyramid scheme. It's part of the plan. At first, we let you live in the dream, but then it's your turn to get real. So now, s'il vous plaît, bend over, relax, and enjoy this austerity.
Merci. Well, we've heard from all sides then. Oh wait, it seems the Eurodivision contest is not quite over yet. I'm told there is a late arrival, a wildcard entry. It's hard to see. It's a contestant from Mali.
No, I'm dropping in on this competition to say on behalf of indigenous mobs and citizens that austerity is nothing new to all the people living under centuries of European colonial systems, and we're still in it. But I'm not here to hate on you, brothers and sisters. I'm here to cheer on your tough resistance, because, mate, we can see that you too have been colonised, even more than we have, because at least we can recognise it.
Should the people protest and elect?
Yep, don't forget, a system cannot fail those it was never meant to protect.
So the solution?
Forget Occupy. You've done enough of that. Decolonise Europe and do it stat.
And with that message, we end our coverage of the Eurodivision contest. Thanks to all our guests and judges. We've witnessed noble acts of rhetoric and courage, bold attacks on systemic power structures. So how do we make sense of this current EU crisis? Is it just economics and budgets? Is there a class war behind it? Or has colonization, normally aimed at other nations and continents, been redeployed against Europe's own populace? Seeking answers, we've explored those very narratives, from the streets of Madrid and Frankfurt to the Kimberleys and Athens, where austerity advances and history is happening. Stay tuned for more juice when Rap News is back again.
Ha ha. What goes around comes around, baby. And with the new poll, the TPIM poll, and thank you all for voting and sharing your opinion. 99%, quite literally, agrees racism exists in this world. Strongly agrees. 1% somewhat agrees. Out of all the polls we've done, there has never been that type of response. And I just want to scroll through so you guys can see with your own eyes to one category. There's always a couple of people, you know, not my concern or no, this or that or no. But this one, everybody is at a yes. And there's 6 comments. I didn't even see the comments. And then we're going to wrap this show up. The biggest question is, what will we do about it since we agree racism still exists? That's a beautiful question. I got a survey question. Did they really go to the moon? Nazis. I mean, that's Brother Greg. That is, I'll do something with that. Everyone content just about. It's a human heart problem. It will always be prejudice and bias. Well, yeah, prejudice and bias is based upon personal expense or experience, but it's not necessarily written into the code of the system or society in which we're dwelling in. Racism comes from all forms and it's strong as ever. I've been blessed to travel the world and seen racism everywhere. The one place I've been where I did not feel any racism from the local people was Vietnam. Everywhere else I've been, it's alive and present. Oh my God, that's from Coach Abdullah. And Judah, I'm a racist. Oh, wow. One who believes his/her nation is superior than others. That's me. Racism is alive and well. And Black Sunrise, damn. Yeah, this is by far the most craziest poem. It really lets you know the state of being of humanity. And with that being said, all I want to ask you, y'all, today, please do your own research today. Look up IMF, look up SAP, structural adjustment programs, and look how it's being applied. Because those programs, you may call it austerity, you may call it a Great Depression, you may call it whatever you like, but it's coming your way. The tide of sorrow is coming your way. Now, because we have failed to address this racism, we have failed to address the nepotism, we failed to address the incompetence of leadership. This is the fruit of that lack of progress. This is the fruit of not giving a fuck. Enjoy, because it will be a celebration. This will conclude TPIM SR Live for today. It is December 4th, 2019, the year of our Lord. As always, I ask you to live your life with integrity without hate, envy, or greed. Brothers and sisters, please, let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace and power, unity and victory, dignity and respect, liberation. And one other thing before I go, I want to thank Mama Molly Bell, Mark from Anaheim, Corin Sutton, Brother Phil Fixico, and so many more for sharing your comments with me on my father's passing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Go out, y'all. Do your research today. Increase your knowledge. I'm out.